positively. Like you wake up and it is meaningful that that you can I can take my daughter to school, and that wasn't possible.
Hello, everybody. Thank you just now, Philip, for introduction, and of course for the video and everything. Thank you so much. Welcome to this week 3 of leadership training. I'm very, very blessed to be invited, and I hope that everybody, gets some value from this and applies this to your Nu Skin business and to win. So let me go ahead and share my slides today. And I just want to say thank you to Lisa. She's my live translator today. I've worked with her for many years, and she's awesome. So please give her a lot of support and love. Thank you, Lisa. So today we're at the week 3, which is closing and teamwork. I'll go through a bit about what we did last week as we go along, and see, for some of the new people, you may come in here halfway and may not know what's happening. So hopefully that will give you some background. And if not, for some of you here today, we're going to learn how to close and teamwork. So this is one of my favorite quotes from Philip. I make it a point to share one every week. And I think this was a couple of years back. As you can see, he never ages, huh? And so he says, people ask me, why are they poor? And it's because they are used to it, So I thought that this was a very profound sentence, that a lot of us are used to it, as in our habits, we're used to it. And why are we who we are, and why are we where we are? It's because we are used to it. So I hope that this quote kind of lays the ground as to how to shift ourselves, our communication, so that we can be somewhere else. So again, a bit about myself. So I've been doing Nu Skin for about 18 years together with Casey. Our goal was to free Casey to be a full-time mother. Both Casey and I are engineers. I'm a chemical engineer. She's a chemical engineer. I'm a mechanical engineer. We get confused sometimes. And then we have the little one here who would say, one day, Daddy, I want to be an engineer too. So I'm not too sure if we were very happy, but okay. But when she was 7 or 8 years old, she said this, Daddy, I want to put a table outside the house. I say, what for? Why do you want to put a table outside the house? He says, oh, I want to sell Nu Skin product. So I was very, very touched by her. And so anyway, so she's now 20 years old. She's studying psychology, and probably some similarities to selling, huh? But anyway, again, both of us are engineers, and we've never done business. We've never done network marketing. We've never done marketing. We've never sold anything, except I sold myself to Casey. I think that was my best sell. And but that was us. And Casey was pretty much a very individual contributor in her work. I had people to manage as I was progressing up. And that was the extent of our leadership, okay? And that was the extent of our skills. And but nothing that we could see at that time that would be applicable to doing Nu Skin or selling products or selling the business, things like that. But we went ahead and we did it anyway, because we know that what is important, again, you know, for a lot of people out there, you know, money is good, but what is more important is the time. As we get older, as we get more responsibilities, as more and more people depend on us, time becomes more and more precious. And so I'm very blessed that the goal that I wanted in this business was to create time, led me to having more time. So in doing the business, following the Type 5 philosophy, and then learning and sharing and training and improving yourself on every day. So more time with my 3 kids now, and then of course my parents as well. So that was one of my goals to do this business, was to find a way to not only have Casey be a full-time mother, but also for me, and you know, to spend more time with my parents. My father's 86, and mother's about 83, I think. So and I was asking myself, if I never did Nu Skin, you know, I'd probably be working, I'd probably be some other country, I'd probably be, you know, so. And that you know, if you ask them when can you spend time with them, you know, you can't, in a sense that you need to really find a platform to create time, and that's the Nu Skin platform, that's the Nu Skin business that allows you to create more time. So learning these skills today really, in a sense, set me free. Of course, there's many other skills in this business, right? But I always feel that communication, knowing oneself, knowing myself, knowing other people, being able to sometimes we always ask the question, why am I like that? Why like that? Why like that one? Why am I like that? And we often feel a bit closed in as to, am I like that one, or can I not change? Why I can't change? And so for some people, learning these 4 quadrants allows them at least to know that, okay, I'm one style. Oh, you mean there's 3 other styles? Oh, you mean I can become 3 other styles as well? So although it's just 4 styles or 4 personality quadrants, easier to remember, but then it of course allows us to know who we are. And so knowing who you are, learning the skills, and improving and sharing, and of course doing the hard work in Nu Skin definitely you know, sets you off in the right direction. And again, our goal is to have a Type 5 Type 5 lifestyle, exactly what Philip is teaching, and all the other great leaders who have taught every Saturday weekends and unselfishly giving us their experiences and their skills is just tremendous. So if you can help me give love and a lot of eights, 888 means clap hands, all clap hands to all the previous leaders who have shared on this platform, to Philip and all the people in the background who have helped, translators and Ray and Ada, everybody that I can remember. Please give them a round of applause, because this is a really awesome platform for everybody to learn. So again, this is a quote that is I put up every week, and I think that it reminds us again, you know, 85% of our financial success is due to our personality and ability to communicate, negotiate, and lead. Shockingly, only 15% is due to our technical knowledge. So again, you don't need to know everything there is about Nu Skin ingredient, you know, everything. More importantly, you want to focus on your personality, your communication, negotiation, and your lead. Why? Because this is always about a people's business, 人的生意. This is a people's business, a relationship business. And we don't deal with the shampoo, we deal with the customer. We don't deal with the 5%, 6 levels, we deal with the prospect, right? The friend or your partner. So it has everything to do with how you communicate and work with people, okay? So to effectively communicate, we must realize that we are all different in the way that we see the world, okay? And to use that understanding as a guide to communicate with other people, all right? So it's very important that, you know, knowing oneself and knowing other people allows us to communicate with them more effectively, and then to build relationship faster, closer, and to be able to enroll people and influence people effectively. And that's one of the topics that we're going to learn today. So again, a little bit of a summary. First week we did a survey, and then we divided people into 4 groups. Okay, so you know so if you didn't do it, it's okay. You kind of look at these quadrants and kind of look at which one that best matches your style and your characteristics. Okay, so the promoter is fun, risk-taking. They love shopping. All right, lifestyles. They like to go crazy and have fun. The supporters, they're all about love, friendship, and they can never say no. And they like to hear the rain fall down. Ooh, very nice. No? And the analyzers, of course, they like data, they like information. They don't want to be wrong. They don't want to make mistakes. They're sometimes very stubborn because they know that what they're choosing is correct. So that's the analyzer. Okay, and then of course the controller. The controller are people who are decisive, who are status driven, and they're a bit impatient, not a bit, a lot impatient, and they're always about money, 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 and more money. Okay, so which one of this is you? And okay, so kind of take a guess, and then of course we can go into it in more detail. Okay, so the promoters, their strength is they're creative, they're enthusiastic. The weakness is they lack details. They're so excited that they forget. You know, they're so excited that they forget sometimes. And because they're so excited and they're so drama sometimes, you know, exaggerating certain things. Well, it's not because they exaggerate. That's the way they are. So people look at them and say, well, you know, real or not, you know, it's so funny, man. Is it so funny, you know? And got so sad, you know, got so sad. And so that's who they are. And then they like to throw tantrums. They like to hit the table. They like to do all sorts of things. I want. Okay. So, and normally when they do that, you know, so we give in to them a little bit, right? So supporters, their strength is they're very accepting, very friendly, you know, anything also can, 隨便你啦，隨便你啦, you know, and are very kind, you know, they like to be together with people. And the weakness is they appear weak because sometimes they don't have any real, they don't make a decision. It's just up to you, whatever you want. So they appear weak and sometimes cannot make decision. I don't know. I follow you. So indecisive. And their backup style is they comply. So when they cannot do anything and argument, sometimes they'll just say, okay lah, whatever lah, you know, follow you lah, you know. So that's what happens to them. Okay. Now the analyzer strength is they're very thorough, they're very persistent, right? They will keep on doing. They are, as we'll learn a bit more about them today. Their weakness is, of course, because they don't want to change so much, because they don't want to be too drama like the promoters there. They oftentimes are very simple, black, gray, brown, you know, very simple. And of course, because they're so simple, sometimes it's like very boring, no fun one, you know, they don't take any risks, they don't have fun, they don't talk a lot, you know, they wait, they listen, you know, at the back of the room. And again, they're a bit stubborn because they know what they're doing. And their backup style is they avoid, they don't want to commit, they don't want to say yes, they don't want to say no, you know, because no, it could be wrong. Yes, it could be wrong. So what to say? Don't say anything, right? Just keep quiet, don't say anything, you know. So that's why to get results from them takes a long time. So we'll talk about that in a bit later. And then of course, controllers, you know, their strength is driven, result focused. Yeah. Weakness, insensitive because they're so focused on results. This is my way, this is the right way, you gotta go this way. And sometimes they they don't care for you. You feel that they don't care for you. Okay, it's not that they don't care for you. It's that they find that the result is more important than your feelings, than your emotions, right? And they can be overbearing. You know, just listen to me. That's so. And of course, you know, when they're backed up, they're like incredible hot, like volcano, very so. So again, this is, you know, I want to go through this again because sometimes it's good to remind. And another tip as well for some of you who are here new, you don't know where you are, then you want to ask yourself this question: where am I not? Okay, if you're not a controller, you are a supporter. If you're most likely not an analyzer, you are definitely a promoter. Okay, so this is a very quick tip. Only 2 rules, very simple. If you're not the controller, you are absolutely the supporter. And if you're not the promoter, you absolutely are the analyzer. Okay, so that's a simple tip for anyone. If you want to look at somebody, prospect somebody, you kind of say, I don't think most likely, definitely, I don't think he's a controller. See, you know, and he's most likely a supporter. All right, now we did the analysis in the first week, and this is the actual data. I did a training for the Philippines group, Sandy Martinez team, previously about 400 people, and that is the data for 400 people. And then we did it again last time for 170 people, and you can see that the data is pretty much consistent. Okay, so we have around 10-11%. Maybe it's different for non-Nu Skin, but this is probably in the Nu Skin world. Okay, so the promoters are about 18%, supporters are about 44%, analyzers about in the 20s, 29, 30%. So this is pretty much the makeup of everybody here today on average. And as you can see, promoters and supporters take up more than half of the whole population. So we have a lot of people who are fun. We have a lot of people who are loving. We have a lot of people who are loving. And I think, you know, of course, Nu Skin is about, you know, caring and helping other people, right? And then you have your 10 and 11% population there. Oh, thank you. So thank you so much. So come here and say hi. Hi. All right, good. My son just got some water for me. Thank you. All right. Okay, so next. So again, we have the data. What to do? So we have the data. What to do? So a bit rundown on what we did so far. Okay, what we did so far is these are just some of the things that we did in the past 2 weeks. You know who your personality is. Okay, you know what your personality is. You know how to see and identify other people. All right. And you now know that you know how to speak their language and their style. Okay, as we talked, and you know your own strengths and your weaknesses. Strengths and weaknesses. And you know how to shift your personality in a sense that, you know, because you know their language, because you know their style, and because you know their personality, you'll be able to talk in that language, in that personality. That's what I mean by shifting your personality. So for example, if I am a supporter and I want to talk to a controller, I probably will be more certain. I probably will be a bit louder. I probably will talk about more money. Probably will talk about more financial terms. I'll talk that Nu Skin has created 1,550 $1 million circle members, or people earn more than $1 million. If I am a supporter, I'm talking to an analyzer. I will be talking things about, you know, we have a very systematic approach of building this business. We have 3 steps. We have 5 key points. We have a clinical study. We have, you know, 38 universities, right? 300 scientists. So not that I shift my personality, I speak in that language. If I'm talking to a promoter, of course, I'm going to be a bit more fun. Hey, you know what? This is going to be awesome, right? We're going to, you know, this business allows you to travel the world. I mean, would you like to shop? Well, we're going to do a lot of shopping. And I don't know about you, but I love adventures. You know, do you love adventures too? I love adventures, man. So yeah, you too. So adventures. So that's what I mean by shifting. And we talked about how to coach other people again. You know, the leaders, the leader, the instructor, the manager. Please. please. The thing, and using the 4 quadrants, and then how to invite others again. So different quadrants, different styles, and of course a little bit of how to present. And then you had some homework, which is homework was to identify people. I hope that you're doing this, because you can't just come here and listen once a week and hope that you get something. You have to really go and look at and kind of guess, okay, my parents is, my husband is, my sibling is, my kid is, my friend is, my G1 level 1 is, my G2 is, my G1, you know, LT leg is, my, you know, so you probably want to kind of have this perspective in this. Not only do you want to know them, hopefully they know themselves as well. Week 2 is start, you know, coaching with the 3 roles and the 4 quadrants, and then start to invite using those things. So there's not much feedback here. I don't know if you've done the homework. I don't know if it is helping you. And today I hope that I can finish early, that you can ask me questions again. So the 3 very simple rules on applying all this is: know yourself, know others, shift, and then communicate. So that's really the basic 3 things that you need to learn, and hopefully that you can get with all the things. So today we're going to go and talk about closing. All right, now this is a pretty powerful section, and I'm not saying this to boast how it is, but can you imagine that you can use 4 quadrants to close, to influence, to enroll, to convince, you know, to sell, based on their 4 quadrant personality. So this is really exciting, and you know, really kind of take note about this, you know, because this really is, you know, one of the key points of the training today. So of course, you know, we're all very familiar about the business cycle to success. You know, we qualify, we invite, we present, we sponsor, and train. Now, again, every you know, part of the business is this. If you're not doing any one of these steps, you're not really doing Nu Skin. Okay, so this is 80% of what you need to do. You know, is qualify, invite, present, sponsor. Right now, in every one of these sections, you are really, you know, applying the 4 quadrants and personality. Of course, right now it may seem like, oh my God, do I have to remember everything? Do I have to do this? Of course, right now it's, you know, it's new, right? But if you kind of factor this into how you operate and your lifestyle and how you think and what you do and how you talk, yeah, it will get into a habit, right? Again, the reason why we're poor is because we're used to it. Yeah. Hey guys. Yeah, come, guys. All right. Excuse me. Okay. You can sit here, but don't come over this side. Yes. So I think a lot of times we very focused on trying to handle objections, which is good. You know, handling rejections, handling why people say. And you can use the 4 quadrants. Now, the 4 quadrants, when you use the 4 quadrants, say hi. If you use the 4 quadrants, if you use the 4 quadrants, you can avoid rejection. Yeah, yeah. Well, again, you know, because when you use the 4 quadrants, you avoid the rejection. And I'm saying this not because I want you to avoid rejection. I always say that rejection is always good, because through the rejection, you know what they want. But what I mean is that when you are inviting, you definitely want to sidestep the rejection, isn't it? So the 4 quadrants allows you to talk straight to the heart, stepping over the rejection. Because once you know the 4 quadrants, you typically can guess what the rejection will be, okay? And I'll talk about that in week 4. I'll talk about that in week 4 as to what are the weaknesses and the fears of each of those quadrants. And when you know these weaknesses and fears, then you can speak in a way that you can assure them of certain fears that they may fear. Okay, so but why is this important? As you will see here about closing, why is it important? Now I just want to go through this again, because you want to remember these, you know, and try to remember as many words as possible that describe promoters. Okay, guys, please. You want to stay here, don't talk. So, these are the words for the promoter language. You have the supporter language, okay? Supporter language, and you have the analyzer language, and of course the controller language. So you want to, in your mind, kind of know these are the words that they use. These are the things that they feel. These are the styles that they show. These are the attitudes and the behavior that they that we see. All right, please go. So keep this in mind, screenshot, and kind of put this to memory in a sense, right? So because you want to get familiar with this. Okay. All right. Good. So now, this is the thing. So we have the 4 quadrants. Okay. These are the 4 quadrants you're all familiar with. Now, in order for us to close, affect, influence, convince, sell to a supporter, you need to be speaking from a promoter style. Okay. All right. So think about it again. So a supporter is friendly, a people-orientated person, right? People-orientated person. They like energy too. And they like fun. Secretly, supporters secretly like to become promoters. Supporters like to become promoters, but they probably don't have the courage to be as crazy as the promoters. But in their heart, they like their lifestyle. They like their energy. They like their craziness. They like their adventure. Inside of them is like, oh, I wish I could be like that. I wish I could dress up like that. I wish I could jump off a plane like that. Wow, you know. So supporters secretly like to be a promoter. So now you know what they like. If you want to close, sell, impact, influence, convince a supporter, what must you do? You position yourself as a promoter. All right. So you tell them, hey, it's fun, it's awesome, it's great. You know, so you will realize that if you are a supporter today, one of the reasons you're here today is because your upline is a promoter. Or your upline introduced you to a promoter or upline that when you saw, wow, so fun, I like that, good. So you are attracted to that kind of behavior, that kind of style, and that's why you're here today. Okay. I mean, that's one of the many reasons, but I just want to let you know. So if you're trying to close, sell something, or TR90 or SPA to a supporter, okay, of course, if you're a promoter, it's easy because you're naturally able to speak to them at that energy fun. Oh, 哟，很爽，很漂亮，很滑, very smooth, right? So, oh, they'll like it. But of course, if you are a controller, can you imagine if you're a controller and you try to enroll a supporter and say, hey, you know, we're going to make a lot of money, okay? Are you in or out? Okay, we're talking serious business here, okay? No nonsense, okay? We're talking about $100,000 a month. You know, what do you think? So if you're speaking from a controller perspective to a supporter, the supporter will say, wow, so serious, wow, so much money, so they're not, you know, they will follow you, but they're not going to be enrolled by you. They're going to be more enrolled by fear more than what their heart wants. So that means that you as a controller need to act like a promoter. You are a controller, serious firm. You say, hey, you know, it's fun. Let's go. You know, after the talk, we're going to have some beers or let's have karaoke and let's have some. So yes, you need to shift. You need to shift your language, your content, your style, your energy, your tone, your dressing to be like a promoter so that you can attract a supporter. That's closing. Okay, if you're an analyzer, right, and you're all about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 numbers and science and data, no nonsense fun, guess what? You need to shift too. If you want to close a supporter, you need to either leverage an upline who is a promoter, or you yourself must increase your funness. Don't be so boring. Have some fun. Roll up your collar, dye your hair, smile, laugh, talk. Got it? So that's how you will influence a thing. So I don't see anybody writing anything here. So I'm not too sure if you guys are getting anything. Yeah. So if you are getting anything and you find that this is useful, clap hand now. And you know, if you are supported, let me know if it's true for you, right? And because this is a pretty heavy stuff that now you can close and you can speak to a person's heart just by their quadrants. Okay. All right, good. So that's what you need to do. Got it? Now, if you're a supporter trying to close another supporter, guess what? You yourself need to raise your energy, speak in terms of promoter language, promoter styles, promoter tones, and that's how you will enroll other supporters too. Okay? And sometimes you're talking to somebody and say, hey, this is very good, man. Yeah, it's good, you know. And you know that the person you're talking to is a supporter, and you yourself are a supporter too, and you're talking supporter, the supporter say, hey, yeah, this is good, good, good. And 3 days later, you go and call this guy joins another company. Why? Because the other company, that person who enrolled him is a promoter, is a person with more energy, more fun. And just because you are a supporter, always like, that one is good. Yeah, slowly, you know, let them go, you know. So, and because you're like that, guess what? They're not attracted by that, and they will go on and join somebody else. So make sure you raise your energy. You're not here to be who you are. You're here to communicate effectively, to close, to convince. Okay, yeah, I know that we don't really use the word convince. Like, the only person you need to convince is yourself. But when you're using the quadrants, you're speaking to the heart directly. Okay, so it's very important to know this. Okay, so okay, so next one. Okay, so how do you close a promoter? If you can see the arrow, you know already, right? To close a promoter, now the promoter has high energy already. It's like a bit like crazy, exaggerating energy. You know, they're so, you know, they talk a lot. They're so drama, a little bit there, and then, you know, oh, so how do you close them? Well, it's all about energy. It's all about energy. Well, think about it. A supporter, they're not going to give much more energy than where they are. They're always going to be below the promoter in terms of energy. They're probably going to say, oh, whatever, lah, you want to go, then up to you, lah. So they're not going to have any direction. The promoters, just like the supporters, secretly, they like controllers. They like their style. They like their certainty. They like the authority. They like how they dominate. They like how they say. They like how visionary they are. They like how they talk about money, a lot of money, how they are bosses. So promoters like to be controllers. They are controllers sometimes when they're in a good mood, but most of the time, you know, they're all crazy and stuff like that. And so in order to close a promoter, you got to act like a what? Controller. You say to the promoter, okay, you wanna win? You wanna win big? This is what you need to do. Get your TR90 set. Meet me tomorrow at the showcase, 3 p.m. Bring 5 names, okay? And we'll start there. So that's a kind of tone, and that's a kind of certainty that you want to bring as a. If you're a controller, good. Naturally, you can do this. But again, if you're a supporter, you're gonna talk to promoter. You're gonna say, like that. So up to you, lah. You want to get a TR, Han. You want to get a TR90 set? You wanna? You don't wanna? What? Oh, up to you, lah. Up to you. You don't wanna? It's okay. So nothing's gonna happen, isn't it? So as a supporter, you want to bring yourself to a controller, language, word, style, tone. Yeah, you got to break through. You got to shift yourself. That's why I've been giving you all these components and the words to memorize and to say, so that you can start to learn how to shift to all 4 quadrants. You see, remember, this is not who you are, this is who you can be, isn't it? So you got to speak in terms of controller language. To attract a promoter, you're talking about the vision, big picture. You're talking about the money. You're talking about the financial standings. You know how many millionaires New Zealand has created? You want to be one of them, okay? So you're speaking in that. So as an analyzer, you know, you're going to be like, really? Oh my God, you know, I need to have system structure. Say, I cannot simply say things. Well, I'm not asking you to simply say things, right? You're going there to lay out the facts, but you have to lay it out in a very certain and confident manner, okay? That's really what it is, yeah? Certain and confident manner to attract promoters. So a lot of you, if you're promoters here today, and the reason you're here today, either your upline is a promoter, as controller, or an analyzer. And that's why you're here today. Good or good? If you're good, everybody give me a thumbs up and say, hey, I got it, this is good. What it is, yeah? Certain and confident manner to attract promoters. So a lot of you, if you're... So, all right, good. Now, we're gonna go to... Yeah, so that's what you need to do. Now we're gonna go to, okay, so we're gonna close, let's say we wanna close controllers. Most of you find closing controllers are probably the hardest thing to do. It's like, oh my God, they speak so loud, they're so authoritative, they're angry, they scold me, I don't like it. Guys, don't worry about that, okay? In fact, if you look at the data, controllers, there are not many, only 10%, only out of 10, you only find 1, so no big deal, okay? You won't die. And at the end of the day, you realize that all controllers are roughly the same pattern. So to close a controller, now think about this. Controllers like to make decisions. They don't like people to make decisions for them. They're quick to make decisions too. But they also want to know that the decision they make came from them. They are also, you know, so in order to make any decision, they need information. They need lots of information. They need the right information. So if you're a controller, looking at promoter, supporter, analyzer quadrant, who do you think will give you the best information, the most accurate information? Definitely not a promoter, isn't it? Definitely not a promoter. All right. So therefore, a controller will not trust a promoter. Number one, they're too crazy, they're too drama. I don't even know what he's talking about, you know. And then you know, so a bit too much energy there, a bit like not too serious, too playful. Controllers are serious, you know. So where do controllers get information from? The analyzers. So if you want to close a controller, you just have to position yourself, tone, information as an analyzer. So you basically are giving the controller lots of information. Well, here's the data, here's the proof, here's the financial numbers, here's a number of things like that. The market. So the very important information to give to controllers is market. We're talking about $1 trillion wellness industry here. We're talking about a $300 billion you know, weight loss market. We're talking about a $39 billion beauty gadget industry. We're talking about a $79 billion hair care industry here. All right. So you're putting this huge numbers in front of them to look at, and you're talking about the income potential in this business. You're talking about 50,000 or more, 50,000 US or more, depending on how many franchises you're talking about, right? We're here, we're a New York listed company. These are the facts, these are the details, right? You take a look at it and you decide. If I were you, I would grab the market as fast as possible. These are the things that you want to say, market potential, so that they kind of look at it and say, whoa, this is big, this is information I like. And as analyzers are not going to force people to make decisions anyway. So it's perfect for a controller, because the controller wants to make their own decision. So that's how they are. So I hope that Lisa's doing fine. Please give her a round of applause. I'm sure it's not easy to live translate for me. I speak pretty fast and sometimes I forget. So I'm so sorry, Lisa, if you had to pick up. But if she's doing fine, all the Chinese listening people, please give her a round of applause. Not easy, not easy at all. Not easy at all. Okay. Yeah. Good job. Thank you, Lisa. Okay, so that's the analyze again. So supporter, if you are going to talk to a controller, you don't want to talk like, this is fun, later when you're successful, you can go to the beach, look at the sunset, hold hand together, walk, so that's not going to be the language that will attract controllers. Okay, they'll say, don't waste my time, isn't it, right? So if you're a supporter and you want to close a controller, don't worry about them, being angry or whatever. Just know that is their style. Don't be affected by their energy, their loudness, their insensitivity. They don't care, their emotions, emotionless, heartless. Forget about that. What you're talking to, you want to talk directly to the heart, bypass all that. You as a bypass all that, talk straight to the heart, talk about money, step in as an analyzer, just give information. They'll say to you, huh? You can, man, look at you. You don't know how to talk. And say, well, I'm new here. I don't know. But here, take a look at this information. Take a look at this information. Take a look at this potential. Take a look at this calculation here. Take a look at the velocity plan. That's all you need to do. You don't have to react to what they say to you. You just have to give the information. Give the information. Now, promoters, you guys need to start reading something. You guys need to collect some details, collect some facts. You guys have to have information. So if you're trying to close a controller, you probably have to lower down your energy, be a bit more serious in the business, give them facts, give them information, give them that kind of, give them money, throw money at them. And that's how you close, impact, effect, influence, convince controllers. Okay, so now we're talking about how to close analyzers, Okay, so again, analyzers, again, looking for information. We know analyzers love information, like a lot of information. And but they are very careful about the people they meet. Analyzers are about trust. They are all about trust. Okay, if they don't trust you, they're not gonna buy you. This is, of course, general for everyone. Is like, if I don't trust you, I'm not gonna. But for them, it is trust multiplied by 1,000. Okay, so the reason they don't talk to you is because they don't trust you. The reason they're not so crazy is because they don't trust the environment. The reason they don't go and meet somebody is because they don't know who that person is yet. So it's all about trust. Right? It takes time to build that trust. It takes time. It takes time. So analyze, no matter what, takes time. They're not going to make a decision right away, right? But the good news is once they make a decision, it is a decision for life. All right. So analyzers. If you are a controller and you are trying to, if you are trying to affect an analyzer, a controller, think about it a second. A controller is what? Impatient, big, fast, lots of money, let's go, capture, conquer. So these are dominate. These are big words. These are like conquer, take control. The analyzer is looking at you and saying, "Wow, control, impatient, hurry up and start, let's do it now." The analyzer feeling, hey, don't push me. I'm not ready yet. I need to read 10 books yet. I need to look at, I have to study internet research, not too fast, cannot. So the analyzers, if you are a controller and you're trying to close an analyzer, the analyzer would look at you and say, like a crook trying to earn my money, you want to close me so fast. So the analyzer will not trust the controller. Analyzers trust. They can see your face, they can see your energy. Analyzers are looking towards supporters. Supporter is kind, nice, sincere, no cheap people, talk the truth, very helpful, supportive, flexible, accommodating, all about love and help. Analyzers like this. Analyzers feel that supporters are very calm, they don't cheat people, they don't cheat people, right? They don't, so they trust them easily, very sincere people. So if you want to close, affect, influence, convince, enroll, analyzer, you need to speak like a supporter. You need to speak like a supporter. You need to act like a supporter. Okay, for supporters, that's natural to you. As a promoter, guess what? Lower your energy, help, love, speak of those words that supporter speaks. Don't rush them. Provide information. controller too. You need to start to have a heart. You cannot rush things. You can say, hey, let's go do it. You have to start to speak from a supporter perspective, helping the world, change the world, helping people, parents, children. They have to get that feeling from you. All right. You have to build that trust. It doesn't take, it takes time. It takes time for people to trust. It's not easy. If you have cheated people before, no, I'm just saying that it takes time for, I know none of you did, but I'm just saying that if you, people didn't trust you before, it takes some time to build that trust again. Okay. So this is the key to closing, right? And if you understand what I said, you can apply this to closing product, business, watch a movie, anything, if you know how to use this cycle well. Okay, so is that good? Is that good? Do you like that? So this is very powerful. This is this really is a secret to closing effectively. Yeah. So it takes practice. You yourself need to shift. You need to break through in certain areas to go to a different quadrant. And in time, you will be able to master this with practice. All right. Good. So teamwork. So that was closing. We talked a lot about closing. We'll talk about teamwork. Okay. And the big question is one better than the other? What happens if the controller is so good? Why don't I have just all controllers? If I have promoters, oh, my team will be fun. It'll be really crazy. Will it be good? And if I have supporters, that's what it's about, right? Love, Nu Skin is about love. Will it be okay? Will it be good? And if I have analyzers, will it be too boring? So let's look at teamwork. Okay. Do we need each other? Well, I'm sure you know, yes, we do, right? So the beauty of this is that, you know, we can have everyone together, and because we know ourselves, we know each other, it doesn't matter anymore because we know how to communicate with everyone. We know how to work with anyone. So I'm going to show you how to work with everyone, and that you can understand other people, and that you can tolerate other people, and that you can, because of that, you can work together as a team. All right. So this will be a very, very good section for all of us because we all work in teams anyway, isn't it? So let's take a look at partnerships of the same type. Partnerships of the same type. That means, for example, promoter and promoter working together, right? Supporter working together, analyzer working together, and controller working together. So let's take a look at that combination. Okay. So I want you here to kind of type for me. Okay. Controller and controller working together. What do you think will happen? Kind of describe what will happen if controller and controller work together. What do you think will happen? Yeah, argument war, take ground, no mercy. Okay, so of course, you know, your imagination is pretty true as well, you know. But this is what you do. If you have controllers and controllers working together as an upline or as an employer or as a boss or as a supervisor, what you want to do is you want to offer a framework, some guidelines as to this is your territory and this is your territory. And it has to be very clear. It has to be very clear. And you must allow them to have the freedom to create inside that framework, okay? So that's roughly, you know, it's very summary, but, you know, at least you kind of know. And of course, when one comes out, the other one must back in, and they can't both come out at the same time. And I think you understand what I mean, you know, by taking turns to lead or take on a project or speak or stage presence as well. So these are how controllers and controllers work together. How about promoter and promoter? What do you think, guys? Promoter and promoter. You cannot hear? Ray, okay, so can you guys listen? Can you guys hear Lisa? Lisa, you want to say a few words? For the Chinese people, can you hear? 听到吗？这个 Lisa 在翻译，听到吗？ Okay, got it. So promoter and promoter, what will happen? 100% failure. Okay, 100% failure. So you cannot put promoters and promoters together because each of them will feed on top of each other's bullshit. Okay. Yes. So they will, you know, they'll say, don't wanna. I say, yeah, let's don't wanna. Oh, let's have a drink. Yeah, that's a good idea. Let's go have a drink. You know. So but they can be very good friends. Okay. They can be very good friends, but nothing can be achieved or any task. Don't give them any task. Okay. So now you kind of know, like, oh, no wonder cannot. I put them buddy together. No wonder cannot have results. Now you know. Now you know. Okay. Supporter and supporter. What about supporters and supporters? Sounds good, huh? Kind of like a very loving team together, working together. Very good teamwork together, right? So what do you think, guys? What do you think? Supporter? Yes, same. What do you think will happen when supporters and supporters work together? No direction. Yeah. So cool. Number one, great relationship, right? Because they tolerate each other very well. Oh, you like that one? It's okay lah. You know, I forgive you because it's like that one. He's like that one. It's okay lah. You know, so they tolerate a lot. You know, they endure a lot. You know, all supporters out there, if you're like me, you know, we endure a lot, don't we? Endure. But because they endure a lot, right, they cannot solve problems. Why? Because nobody knows there's a problem, because they always endure. They keep it to themselves. He's like that one, I forgive him, he's like that one, you know. But because nobody knows, nothing can be solved, right? So eventually the problem will explode. Okay. So we'll talk a bit about different ones later. Analyzer and analyzer. What do you think? Analyzer and analyzer working together. Well, it's good, right? If you are a boss, you definitely want to hire analyzers because they get the work done, all right? And but get the work done and then ask them to go home, right? They cannot be friends. What do you mean cannot be friends? Yeah, they cannot be friends. Why? Because analyzers are very detailed. They're very picky, you know. They're very kiki, is that what they say? And they so if you are an analyzer and you and your analyzer colleague go to have dinner after work, let's go have dinner. Okay, let's go have dinner. So as you're sitting down, you know, you look over on his table there and you say, why you eat like that one? Why you put the fork there? Why you put the salad dressing outside? Why that one? So analyzers become very picky and they try to find fault. They try to find, you know, 吹毛求疵 So they see each other's fault. So so the best thing is get the project done, go home. Cannot be friends. Of course, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but I think you understand what I mean when I describe these situations and conditions. Okay, how about partnerships of the opposite type? Wow, opposite type, all right? So let's take a look at opposite types. So what will happen if controller and supporter working together? Controller and supporter working together. What do you think will happen? Is that good? What do you think will happen? Tell me, what happens if a controller and supporter works together? Is that a good thing? Is that effective? What do you think? Supporter be depressed. Supporter gets overworked. Is good. Supporter run home. Supporter kena bully. Okay, so in fact, Controller and supporters are a match made in heaven, okay? Match made in heaven, all right? It is like concrete and steel. Concrete and steel are match made in heaven. Do you know that concrete and steel have the same expansion rate, you know? And that's why they're so perfect together. So controller and supporter. The controller likes to lead. The supporter loves to follow. Perfect, right? Perfect. And you will find that a lot of you who are married here today will find that your spouse is your opposite. So if you are a controller, your spouse is a supporter. And if you are a supporter, your spouse is a controller, all right? And I can say this 90% of the time, 90% of the time, okay? And it will be opposite. And that's what they say, opposites attract, opposites attract. Controllers find something that they're missing, you know, and the supporters fill it in. The supporters find no direction in life. Controllers offer that direction in life. Controllers want people to follow. Supporter is perfect. They will always follow, okay? So the function is about speed and honesty. So the controller is about, let's go do it now, impatient, now. When? Yesterday, we gotta do it now. But the supporter is, you know, wait a bit lah, you know, take it easy lah, you know, relax a bit lah, look at the sunset lah. No, the sunset ends at 7:05, we gotta leave. Yeah, just relax a bit lah. So you can understand the challenge, the dilemma or the conflict. So the supporter, when I say honesty, is this. The supporter always remember, you know, in order to avoid the controller being angry, so the supporter will always like, okay lah, up to you lah. So the supporter ends up, you know, allowing the controller to do what they want. The controller will continue to get stronger and stronger and say, oh yeah, you always let me. And then sometimes the controller will say, how come you never make decision one? How come you always like that one? And the supporter, well, you know, make you happy, you know, whatever. So now I know that there are times where situations becomes hard. And I know that sometimes there are a lot of misunderstandings. The controller say, how come you never say? And the supporter will say also you scold. Then why I say, right? And then the controller, if you don't say how I know, and then I guess you understand what will happen, right? It just escalates until. But if we understand this, if we know, if the controller knows he's like that, and the controller understands the supporter is like that, and the supporter understands the controller is like this, and he understands she's like that, then there is a chance to improve. And I'll tell you what you need to do later, all right, to improve in this region. Now, it doesn't have to be a spouse. It could be an upline, downline situation. It could be a mentor-mentee situation. It could be a prospect and you situation, okay? Now, but, and we'll talk about development in week 4. We'll talk about personal development in week 4. But I just want to let you know, this is the operation mode in a sense that controllers are about time. Supporters, you need to operate on honesty, and you got to voice out. You got to voice out, okay? And this can really help save a lot of relationships once they understand each other and they understand, oh, he's like that, and supporters, oh, they're like that, okay? Or else they'll say, oh, how come you don't understand me? How come you don't understand me? There will be this because they never attended this training. So next time, if you have some downlines or you know, bring them to this training. Okay, so promoter, analyzer, what do you think? What do you think? Promoter, analyzer, one is so much fun, one is no fun. How's that gonna happen? Is it gonna work? So again, like all relationships, opposite relationships, it is all match made in heaven. So notice that if you're a promoter, your husband or your spouse is an analyzer. If you're an analyzer, your spouse is a promoter. It is the opposite. How accurate? About 80-90% accurate. Okay. So a promoter is about temperature. It's about temperature. The analyzer, it's about standard quality, premium quality. All right. Promoter, fun, crazy. Temperature, not meaning hot, meaning, you know, hot as in you know, very, you're hot, man, that kind of hot. Okay. So I think it's strange. I think it's perfect in a sense that we're all attracted to our opposites. You know, Casey says she married me because I made her laugh. All right. And, you know, I married Casey because, you know, I'm lousy in saving my money. So this is a situation I will share with you. You know, the promoter, you know, loves to dress up, right? Loves to dress up, you know, spends a lot of time in the bathroom, tapan, tapan, you know, all that kind of stuff. And then he'll go out to the spouse and, hey, spouse, take a look at, what do you think? Is it nice? You know, how I bought this dress for you, you know, and you may be standing in front of a curtain, right? And you're asking your spouse, hey, how's that dress I bought for you, just for you? How's it? Nice enough, you know? And then your spouse would say, he's not smiling. He's not looking at your dress. I think the curtain, long time never wash already. The curtain, need to wash the curtain. Yeah, the curtain need to wash. If not, we have to change another one. You see, got a lot of spots. So the analyzer spouse, you know, is not going to compliment, okay, your dress at all, okay, and because they don't compliment you, you as the promoter would do it even more. Oh, look at this, you know, oh my God, you know, you'd be even more drama just to get his attention. And the more drama you do, the less he's a crazy one today. I'm going out already. So he's not going to even entertain you for a compliment at all. So now, again, this is nothing bad, you know, this is, again, analyzers are a function of standard and quality, right? They have high standards, they have high quality. When they buy, it's not because of expensive. They want to buy the best, the most benefit, the most quality, you know, that's it, right? So I say the premium quality. So think about it this way. If you are dressed up this way, and sometimes as a promoter, you can dress up really shockingly sometimes. Oh my God, like, what, really purple, man? Are you really purple and yellow? Oh my God, you know? So the analyzer would be like, you know, don't know how to compliment, because if the analyzer would compliment you as a promoter, that means the analyzer standard drop. They have no more standard anymore. They have no more quality anymore. And that is why analyzers don't compliment. Okay? So that's the SOPs by which how they operate. And now you understand. Now you understand the analyzers and how, and as an analyzer, understand what promoters just want to be complimented. They want to be in the limelight. They just want to be, you're fantastic, you're awesome, you're good, you're just amazing, right? But the analyzer will always change the curtain. Curtain need to change, you know? So that's their compliment. Got it? All right. So I hope that, you know, and again, you know, think about this as a relationship. As if you're in a relationship like this, where upline, downline, mentor-mentee, or even spouse relationship, and you're seeing a disconnect. Guys, you're not really seeing a disconnect. You're not seeing the uniqueness of each other. What you see as in, how come they don't compliment me? And how come you're so crazy? It really is the style and personality. But once you know the style and personality, then you say, oh, okay, that's she's like that. She's like that. And I'm like that as well. All right. So, and I hope that this will help strengthen relationships and strengthen bonding with each other. Right. And this could save many relationships as well if they understand this, these quadrants. So these are the things that you can do. Promoter to the analyzer. You're going to work close. You live with each other. You sleep with each other, you know, a lot, right? You attract each other. Promoters will attract analyzers to the business. It's going to be that way. Analyzer will attract promoters into the business. That's going to be the way it is. So promoter to analyzer. Make sure you remember. The promoter needs to remember the ID number, the first time they join, the first time they LOI, the first time of the analyzer LOI, and the first time they meet. You know, you have to remember everything, the birthdays, right? The analyzer, you know, you know, doesn't like you because you always forget. You always forget to do this, forget to pay the bills, forget to do all those things, right? Because you have no details, you don't connect, you don't remember, you know, you don't take notes, right? You always use your brain, and then your brain is shopping, and then you forget about the bill, and you forget all these things. So promoter to analyzer, remember. That's your job. Just remember, and then your relationship will be so much more powerful. Just remember. Write that down. I will remember. The first time we kiss, the first time we hold hand, the first time. All right? Maybe the second time and third time also must remember. So now you must use your calendar more accurately, all right? Write down all these things if with an analyzer. I will remember. All right, good. If you're a promoter, write that down. I will remember. All right, I remember the first time we kissed. I remember the first time we hold hands. I remember. Next, analyzer to promoter. Analyzer to promoter. You know what you need to do. You gotta compliment. You cannot close your mouth, right? You cannot criticize. You gotta compliment. All right. Don't keep finding the fault. You know, the curtain need to change. Darling, I cooked the steak for you, nice or not? The chopstick need to change. The plate dirty. The tablecloth messy. All right. Compliment. All right. So analyzer to promoter, learn to compliment. Okay. If you're an analyzer, right there, I will compliment. I will compliment. Right. Right. Learn to compliment. Oh, that's a nice red t-shirt you're wearing. Oh, that's a nice hairstyle you have today. That's a nice glow you're having today. Wow, you know, that's a nice mole you have there. I love that mole, you know. I will compliment. Guys, supporter to controller. This is a bit tough. This is not easy, but this is a breakthrough. Supporter to controller, you got to voice out. Not easy. I know you tried before, it didn't work, but guess what? Keep doing it. Keep doing it. I know when the last time you voiced out, you cried, but I know you won. No, you lost, but guess what? It will make an impact, but you must do it. You must do it. You can't leave it until when everything cannot work. And then he will say to you, how come you didn't say it before? And sometimes cannot come back anymore. So voice out. Have the courage to voice out. Find a way to voice out. Through third party, also voice out. Supporter to controller, voice out. You need to have a courage. You need to have a voice. Supporters, by the age of 30, 35, 36, you know, you will start to realize that you've been saying yes all your life and that you don't know how to say no. It's time to say no. It's time to say yes to your life. Okay? And that's why Nu Skin is so powerful. Now, controller to supporter. Controller to supporter. Be patient. Not everybody operates like you, right? Intel i7 10th generation microprocessor. Some people are still in the 486 Pentium chip. You know, they're still selling Pentium chips out there. I don't know why. Okay. So some people are not as fast as you. So you need to be patient. Patient. You don't slow down. You be patient. You don't slow down. You simplify. Right? You don't slow down. You simplify. Because you're running, and as a leader, you should set high standards. You should go. And sometimes people can follow. I understand. You don't lower your standards. You simplify your steps. Write that down. You don't lower your standards. You simplify your steps. Okay? Very, very important. You don't lower your standards. You simplify your steps. So guys, that's how you can work together. Those are the very one thing that you need to do as in your quadrant that will dramatically change your relationship with 25% of the population, you know, or whatever percent of the population. You know, these are the one thing you can do to improve relationship and teamwork with your team, upline, downline, sideline, family, spouse, children, yourself. Give yourself a break. I know before this, it was tough. You didn't know you didn't know all this. So you are just operating based on what you know. You're operating based on you know, and yeah, some relationships got sour. Yeah, some arguments were there. Me too. Me too. But now you know. Now you know. Okay. So this is, Casey, and this is one of our first Team Elite trips. All right. And this was in a Baltic cruise, 25th New Zealand anniversary. This is in the Blue Hall, Sweden. This is where Nobel Prize winners eat. And they, not eat, I mean, they have their dinner with the royalty. So Casey was very excited about coming to this place in Sweden and the Blue Hall, where the Nobel Prize winners go. He said, "Oh my God, I'm a chemical engineer. I love chemistry. Just imagine all the chemistry people who got awarded here, coming to these places." He said, "No matter how much money I have, I could never walk inside this because they don't open this for public, right? Only if you won a Nobel Prize, then you can get there." So of course she was like, "Oh my God, this is a place." And she walks into this place and she says, "The Blue Hall. Wow, looking at the Blue Hall, So I come in. Of course, I like science myself, right? I come in and I say, "Where got blue? Everything also red." Everything also red. There's all red bricks. There's no blue at all. Okay, it's not even, I don't know why it's called a Blue Hall. All right. So these are a bit of a differences between me and Casey a little bit. In content wise and in visualization wise, and what to see and what the meaning is and what it represents. Okay. Casey and I were different. Yeah, she's more on the analyzer controller personality. I'm more of a supporter, promoter personality. I'm sure a lot of you can guess that as well, and some of you know me as that as well. We each have different strengths and we each have different weaknesses. Yes, we argue. Yes, we have differences in how we think and how we apply certain things and how we do certain things and messages we send and how we work with our team. We all have differences and things like that. But we understand each other. We know that's a strength, and she knows that's my strength, and I know that's what she does good at, and what I'm good at, and we give each other that space, and we recognize that space, right? And not easy sometimes. Yes, it's not easy. Sometimes about ego. Sometimes about I'm right, she's wrong, and sometimes But then again, we understand why. Because if you appreciate each other's strength, it's alike. If you forgive each other's weaknesses, it's love, right? This is a great realization. If you appreciate each other's strengths, it is a like. And if you forgive each other's weaknesses, that's what we call love. All right. So homework today, screenshot this and post this up, and kind of share with people this little simple concept here today. If you appreciate. So in 4 quadrants, we know each other's, strengths, and we also know each other's weaknesses. And because we understand, we know who they are, where they're coming from. Now I know why you're like that. Now I know you're like that. Okay, I can accommodate. I understand. And that's love. And that's how we can work together as a team. Okay. So action exercise again is to look at people, know their quadrants, practice observing, practice identifying, listening to the words they say, content, how they're excited, why they're excited, how they describe things, how they dress, how they wear, what kind of frame that they wear. So practice this. So, learning these skills, may not directly lead me to lots of GV and, clothes like 25 sets or something, but teaches me how to know myself, work with other people, build relationship, work with my team, understand my team, work with prospects, understand them. And that's the important skill today that allowed me to experience what Philip has always shared with me, having a type 5 life. All right. It is not easy. It is not easy. But it is worth it. It is worth it. At the end of the day, when you find that all what I share is tough and difficult to memorize, I hope that it's simple because there's only 4. And it all makes sense, it's logic, right? As all we need to do is understand, and we watched this a couple of times. Yeah. I'm very, very blessed that This business allows, to have many choices and to be able to do certain things. And this is one of our dreams. Is when we first joined Nu Skin, we always heard of this, Nourish the Children, Force for Good, Malawi story, and we're so wishing one day we can. I'm sure a lot of you want to do that. Oh, I wish I can go. I wish I can go. And some of you have gone before, and isn't it an amazing experience? So, and Casey and I went last year, and thankfully it wasn't the COVID that we were able to go, and we were able to witness this. And it is very touching. It is a witness to all the work that every one of you does and share with everybody. I just want to bring that out and share with everybody because I think it's important, and I think that we can continue to be successful in our business so that we can continue to help more children in Malawi and save more people's lives, right? Again, these 4 quadrants is not to box you. It is not to box you in and say, hey, Willing says I'm a supporter, that's who I am, and I'm like that one. So that's not an excuse that you can ever make. This is to free you. This is to expand your potential, your horizons, your range, your perspective, your understanding of yourself and your understanding of other people. That's the whole purpose of this, okay? Again, the 3 steps: know yourself, know others, shift, and communicate, okay? That's the 3 steps. So the homework for this week is, to practice closing with the 4 quadrants. So remember the cycle: promoter affects supporter, affect the analyzer, affect the controller, affect the promoter. So that's the cycle that you want to think. If I want to close the supporter, act like a promoter. If I want to close an analyzer, act like a supporter. If I want to close a controller, I want to act like an analyzer. If I want to close a promoter, act like a controller. So that's the sequence, okay? That's the sequence. And forgive, guys. Throughout our lives, we have made enemies, and we have, you know what I mean. The arguments, and there are sour relationships. You know what has happened. Most of the time when we are arguing, we're not arguing on the content, we're really arguing on the personality, and the standard, the high quality as an analyzer, and the forgetfulness of a promoter, and the lack of courage to voice out, and the impatience of a controller. Really, we are arguing or not understanding these things, and that's why the relationship. Go back and forgive the other party because of the 4 quadrants, because of that lack of understanding of them at that time, and we were arguing based on that. And I think this is to come back and build that relationship back again. All right. I hope that it helps you and helps all those. And I'm not saying that everything is bad. I'm just saying that there will be some, and that this is a great way to put it back together. So we're gonna go. Last one is a test. This is an exercise, a test. So we're gonna all watch a sad movie now, a very sad movie. So which group do you think will? Which group you think will cry first? Which group do you think will cry first? Let me know which group will cry first. Can you guess? I'm sure you can guess, right? Yes, the supporters will cry first. But how will the supporter cry is different, right? So the supporter will cry like this. Know how they cry? Okay, next question. Who will cry second? Who will cry second? It's a very sad movie. Who will cry second? Who? Okay. Promoter. So how will the promoter cry? How will the promoter cry? Now remember, the promoter wants to let the world know they cry, right? So they're gonna, why they cry like that? Because they want to let the world know that they are the ones crying first. That's who they are, okay? And then who will cry third? Who will cry third? Between controller and analyzer, who will cry third? So Philip says analyzer. Well, the group that will cry third are the controllers. But the controllers, the way they cry, very unique, very patented, unique to controllers. This is how controllers cry. Oh, Cold. This place very cold. A lot of dust. Yeah. A lot of dust, eh? A lot of dust. Why so much dust? Good movie. Excuse me. They'll go to the bathroom and cry. Controllers cry that way. They cannot show the world that they cry. They have a heart, but usually covered by a lot of armor, because they don't want to show people that they inside they are also soft, but they do cry, but they cannot show the world they cry. Is that true? And the last one to cry, analyzers. Well, remember, analyzers will never go to a place that is of high risk. So before you say they go see a movie, they ask you what title. They will go to internet and check IMDb and check what's the rating, good show or not show, can cry or not cry, got people die or not, or like that, safe, safe, And if they know that that movie is like this, they'll say, why cry? Show die one, can die already one. How you know? I read the book already. I read the review. I wrote the spoilers already. So the analyzers will not go to a place that will risk them. So they'll always be safe. And that's why analyzers, don't cry. I hope that was fun for you. Another bit of a fun exaggeration here. So I want to say thank you so much. Today was a tough one, was a heavy one. We're going into more development, personal development next week. But then again, I just want to say thank you so much for the space to share, and and Philip for me to share, and Lisa for excellent translation, to help you guys as much as I can. That will add value to you and become a better communicator, more effective closer, and to succeed in New Skin business so that you can have a type 5 life. So thank you very, very much. Back to you, Philip.
Yeah. Wellington, although I don't understand what you're talking about. No. There are lots of things we have to learn. Actually, for the last 1 hour, there's a lot of things to learn. Well, I think if we don't 100% understand what Wellington sharing with us, it's fine, because we do the recordings and we save it in the album. I think you can go there to learn and to review it several times. And I'm for sure that what you learn from Wellington and you applied, it definitely will help your New Skin business will be better and better, because you have a very highly effective communications, But you know what I find out is actually this is not just about in business, but also in your family. How the husband and wife to understand each other, and you don't get mad, and you know what to react, what to say, to put the relationship better and better. That is what even more important, that.
Yes.
So yeah, that's so good. And I know there's no time, not too much time right now, but I want to ask one question myself, Wellington. Okay, one question.
Yes.
Let's say if I'm a promoter, if I just don't care, and I just talk like a promoter, and I don't want to change, and I don't want to shift, I want to know which group of people I attract. I use the word attract. Now I want to find out this first.
Supporters. Most likely you will attract supporters.
So that means even promoter and promoter, the way they talk the same, they don't really attract each other. Just like controller, not necessarily attract controller.
Yeah. You see, of course, there's always timing. Like we always say, you cannot say the right thing to the wrong person. You cannot say the wrong thing to the right person, right? Because the timing is there.
Yeah, right.
But in general, we're talking about influence. We're talking about effective influence. Of course, if you are a promoter and you can say something that at that time, that's what I want, you attract me right away. But in general, we're talking in general, your promoters, their energy are going to attract a lot of supporters. They like that energy. They like that the style of living there. Yeah.
Oh, Wellington, in that case, I find out the graph you gave it to me. Actually, more people are supporters in the world, right?
Well,
Like
that's because
40% in the graph is the supporters. Huh?
well, that is because we're all in new skin world.
Oh,
And,
I see. I
yeah,
see.
That was in the new skin
Oh,
world.
maybe in the other kind of world, like I see.
Prospects.
I
It
see.
could be
May
different.
not. Oh, I see.
Yeah.
May I know in the general world, do you have any statistic?
Well, yeah, sometimes I do this talk in public and I invite the public to do. And it's in general, it's quite a very small percentage of analyzers, smaller percentage of controllers, a lot of supporter. So it's quite accurate also.
So may I ask, so if a promoter not pretending at all, so in a way, they will attract more supporter.
Yes.
I see. Then in that case, if a person don't want to change, you better be a promoter because there are more people are supported in the world. No, that is what I predict. That is what I find out. Okay, anyway. Oh, I see.
But again, you know, I'm not saying supporters are no good. They are a bit. They take their time. They take their time. So if you have a project, you definitely want to find people who are. But you know, it doesn't mean that the data is static. For example, we can change the data if all of us know how to speak to controllers more. We can attract more controllers into the business.
Yep, I see. Yep.
Right, and we can attract more analyzers as well, because this is based on not knowing the 4 quadrants and not knowing personality. This is just naturally occurring. But now we know we can be more effective in talking to controllers and analyzers.
I see. So when promoter attract the supporter by nature, does it mean that after they attract, they also work well together?
Well, you know, not necessary, because a promoter is sometimes fun and sometimes, you know, and a supporter with the results, when a supporter result is not so good, they become analyzers. They become analyzers. And the promoter, if they don't recognize this, which we'll talk about next week, then then he'll always act like a promoter. They cannot coach the supporter, and then the relationship is maybe not serious, because sometimes we need to have direction. Sometimes we need to be assertive. Sometimes we need to have a goal.
I find out what you just mentioned in this training course. The promoter and the analyzer, actually they're supplementing each other.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I hear, right? But promoter by nature is attracting the supporter.
Yes.
Is that true?
Yes.
Is that what, yeah, that's good. At least I find out exactly the same. Okay. So some people you attract, but doesn't mean they work together really well.
Yes.
Some people you don't attract, but if you are together, it can work well.
Yeah.
Very good. Understood.
And sometimes, remember, they are attracted maybe not because of you. It could be your upline, and because they sign up underneath you, that's the thing. So sometimes if we don't have the quadrant, we leverage on the upline who has the quadrant, on the sideline who has the quadrant. For example, I need to close a controller, but probably I'm not that good. I will maybe get another analyzer, sideline analyzer, to help talk to this person, and that will be more effective than me.
That's just why we better have 4 types of people in our team.
Yes.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So they can supplementing each other. Okay, very good. Thank you, Winning Time. Very good lesson today. So thank you. Yeah, thank you so much. So let's put our hands together for our wonderful leader, Winning Time, today. One more time. Yeah, everybody.
Thank you,
and
Lisa.
Also, and also, of course, thank you, Lisa, for our simultaneous translation into the Mandarin today. And thank you for our host, Ray. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you,
and we're looking forward to see everybody next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Winning. Bye-bye, everybody.
Stay in the room.
Yeah.